in temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to attend our upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. It's the best time to buy parts and schedule inspections all year. Take advantage of specials through December 13th with additional savings the day of your local expo. Find savings on oil and filters, gifts for under the tree, and pre-ordered John Deere parts. Visit with our trained and certified technicians and sign up for our winter service specials. Visit landmarkimp.com for a complete schedule and experience the Landmark difference.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend, youth basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Let's have a day here on the block. On the left, Eric Strickland. On the right, Austin Norman. Glad to be with you here during On the Block. We'll be with you till 4 o'clock. Today's Nebraska-Creighton Day. Tomorrow is Nebraska-Wisconsin Day. We will get to all the matchups of those teams here on the show. If you want to be part of the conversation, let us know. 402-464-5685. Stricky, what's up, my man? How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing good today, man. Can you hear me? Are you good?
I got you.
All right. Yeah, I'm doing good today, man. Just a lot going on. There's a lot going on right now. Obviously, the games are going to be coming on. Both Creighton and Nebraska are going to be playing, as well as the women are going to be playing as well. So a lot going on that front. A lot of things happening, at the university itself, with a lot of adjustments and a lot of changes. And we're going to see how it all plays out. Especially on the basketball side, how are they going to rebound after having a really tough loss up in South Dakota? So those are some things that we're going to have to look at, man. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling good, in good space. That Hawk wind wasn't blowing as hard as it was yesterday, so that helps too.
Hey, with the little victories. It is the little victories. Nebraska men's and women's basketball looking for big victories, even more so for football and volleyball tomorrow, right? Obviously, it's Creighton. It means a lot for the I-80 rivalry, and we'll get to that here in just a sec. Football needs win number 6 to get bowl eligible. Obviously, volleyball swept Wisconsin on the road earlier this year, and we'll get to all that here in a little bit. But Strick, when you look at this Nebraska men's basketball team coming back to the state of Nebraska, but going on the road, they stay in Omaha last night, have their shoot around, and then walk through today. What's the biggest kind of storyline that you're watching for? What's going to give Nebraska the best chance possible to not just hang tough with the Blue Jays, but maybe beat them?
I think they're going to have to run, Austin. Like last year, I know they don't like this, and Creighton, they can thrive and they can play at a pretty high pace. But I to be honest, man, if you're not gonna run and take advantage of open court, fast break, easier opportunities, kind of still having them in transition as opposed to having them set. Mm-hmm. That's where they thrive at. They're really good because they're disciplined. They're in gaps, they're help, they're recover, and they've got a big shot blocker inside in Kalkbrenner. So, they're solid as far as that's concerned. And so I think they need to push and get easier opportunities and do that and I don't think it needs to it needs to matter whether it's a miss or made opportunity to do that. So I think that's something that they have to I think they have to get this number up pretty high. I don't think they win against a very disciplined, a team that runs their offense like Creighton the way that they do, and with Kalkbrenner shooting almost 90%. I think that's going to be a key matchup. Let's just talk about that. Mia against, and probably you're going to see Mia get a lot. I think footwork wise, hands wise, as far as making Kalkbrenner change maybe how he gets to his shot pockets from his jump hook. I think you'll see Burkhead be good at that. Strip, physical, make him change some of his jump hooks and different things that he does in the paint. Just can't let him get deep. Pause. You can't let him get good paint touches to where he's close. You got to force him out a little bit. So you got to be real physical. But you got to run him. You're going to have to, because I'm telling you, they don't have guys right now that can really break the defense down. You're really not going to be able to take advantage of post opportunities with that kind of help. And you better hope you're not shooting under 30% from three. Just call it what it is.
That part. When you look at how Nebraska is going to defend Ryan Kalkbrenner, I think that you brought up a good point that it's not just going to be Braxton Mia. He should start tonight. He'll get the first assignment. Berke Boyuktengel, I think, can do some stuff offensively on the perimeter to try to drag Kalkbrenner away. But I think, Strick, it's going to take Berke Boyuktengel hitting a shot or two from the outside early on. Kalkbrenner's got length. He's got height over Boyuktengel. He can just stick his arm up and still contest shots. But am I off base for thinking that maybe Andrew Morgan is the best bet for Nebraska defensively against Ryan Kalkbrenner? To me, I think that he offers, the best combination of interior resistance and ability to slide the feet on the perimeter. I think Berke Boyuktengel is the best for Nebraska offensively, but I think you can probably do the most against Creighton with some heavy minutes from a guy like Andrew Morgan tonight.
I think the physicality part of it, yeah. I think when you look at that part of it, that's something that you can consider and take into account whether or not that is I just don't know in the long term. I think you got to throw multiple bodies on him, right. But I think the physicality of Morgan is definitely something that you have to, use and take advantage of and take into account. So, yeah.
The other kind of key matchup, let's go all the way down on the other end of the positional spectrum from the 5, the center, down to the 1 at point guard. No Trey Alexander for Creighton this year. Doing a lot of the ball handling so far is Stephen Ashworth. He's 6'1", listed at 170 pounds. Strick, we know he's a knockdown shooter, but I also think there's an avenue for Nebraska to go at Stephen Ashworth defensively. Creighton probably knows what Nebraska is going to try to do, but I really think Nebraska can go back to that 2022 game plan where they run that kind of inverted pick and roll, just clear out one side of the floor and have Raleigh Wooster back Stephen Ashworth down into the post. Whether it's to score or to pass out of the post to get the offense moving, I think Nebraska would be well served, maybe not all game, but certainly for stretches where if Stephen Ashworth is the one defending Raleigh Wooster, break out the Sam Griesel playbook. Let Raleigh Wooster play some YMCA booty ball and see what comes of it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It sounds good in theory, Austin, but at the same time, you've got a guy that's going to be there. So what you're going to have to do in order to even get those type of looks is you're going to have to shoot the ball. You're going to have to shoot the ball well, and especially those guys at Buruk and maybe Morgan. That's the only way. Otherwise, they're not gonna. They're gonna be right there. They're gonna clog paint, and they're not gonna let those guys who thrive in that area get there. And you're gonna force you to shoot. If you're not gonna be mid rangers and you're not gonna be able to shoot the three, you're gonna struggle.
So that 2022 game, Strick, up in Omaha, again, that's the last time the game was played up in Omaha 2 years ago. Creighton was ranked number 7 at the time. What do you think Nebraska shot from 3 in that game?
I can't remember. Maybe 34%.
25%. Nebraska was only 3 of 12 from 3 in that game.
You're talking about the one that they won?
Yeah, 63 to 53.
Yeah.
Only 3 of 12.
Yeah, Austin, but then you had size advantages, and guess what they did? They ran. They didn't let Creighton get set up. You saw Greasel and those guys getting to the basket, attacking the basket, finishing at the rim because they were pushing the tempo. Yeah, no, they weren't just stuck in off. But when they did, even though they didn't shoot well, they did good jobs of rotating and then getting it to the other side. And then Walker was, working out against Krogbrunner. So yeah, you just had a dog that was able to work him out. It didn't, it wasn't the usual way, but it was a way to get it done.
Do you think Nebraska's big men can do what Derek Walker did tonight? Do you think Derek Walker was just kind of unique in that?
I think Burke's probably the only one that I feel right now is capable of doing that. I think, the other two, I'm not quite sure yet, but yeah, I think that's the case. I think this is, hold on, put me on pause. I think this is my car calling. Hold on a second.
Pause. Yeah, we'll make sure Stricky gets set up with his car. See, I get what he's saying. He's the Husker Hall of Famer. I don't want to cross him, but I really do think there are opportunities for Nebraska in that way, right? If they can't be scared of Ryan Kalkbrenner. They can't back down from him, right? Yeah, he's won the Big East Defensive Player of the Year award here or there, but that's, I think, the most important part, Strick, is that you can't, if you're Nebraska, challenge Ryan Kalkbrenner willy-nilly. You can't just drive into the paint, be loose, be soft. If you're going to go at him with a purpose. You have to mix it up with him too, right? Sometimes drive into his chest. Sometimes do what you recommend quite a bit. Hit the floater. Hit the mid-range game where he can't contest it. Now, that's what Creighton wants, right? They want to win the math game. They want to shoot a lot of threes, and they want to not allow very many. But this is, again, a game where if, Bryce Williams comes off screens correctly, if the big men set screens for him, if Raleigh Wooster has Stephen Ashworth, a step behind, there's nothing wrong with mixing up what you do. You don't have to always get all the way to the rim. If you have an open mid-range shot, maybe Creighton comes out of their drop coverage, maybe they don't. But if you can feast for tonight in that kind of 6 to 13, 6 to 15 foot range, it's going to be tough. You've gotten outmathed already once this year, but that might be Nebraska's best path instead of just slamming into the brick wall that is Ryan Kalkbrenner sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're adding on to the cake. I think I cooked the cake and you're adding on with the icing. That's it. I mean, it's, you took what I said and just spiced it up a little bit and put the cherry on top. That's what I was talking about. That's how it's got to go. Just running that little offense that they run. No. So they're a little bit different in that they run an offense too. But they are very good at skipping balls across, weak side. They're skipping balls weak side and attacking off of that, and then finding guys, and they shoot. They shoot pretty good, and they got a good point guard that's going to run the show for them. Averaging over 7 assists a game. So they know the way that they play, and they're going to play that style. I just don't. I think they're going to execute their stuff, and you're going to have to double unless you're going to play him man-to-man and play him well. That's what Derek Walker did that year. He played a man-to-man and won the battle. I beat you and I defend you. At the end of the day, I have more than you, and we beat you. That's how it ended up.
Would you like to see Nebraska continue to work on the defensive principles it's installed over the last couple of years? Or, Strick, is there maybe a scenario tonight where maybe it's not every possession, but for stretches of time that Nebraska does to Creighton what UConn did to Purdue in the national championship game, right? Where UConn said, we'll let Zach Edey play one-on-one. We are staying attached to shooters across the perimeter. We know the actions you're going to run. We're staying glued to your hip, right? We're there on the catch. You're not going to get open threes against us. We know Nebraska loves to send that baseline double. It's what they've become known for, and they're willing to live by and die by the other team shooting well or not shooting well. But would it make some sense, at least at times tonight, for Nebraska to just man up and say, yep, Ryan Kalkbrenner, you can cook. We're not going to let everyone else beat us.
Yeah, you got to find a strategy. You got to figure out which one you're going to take away. It's no different than what Nebraska's going to have to do in the football game. Probably take away the run game, be heavy on taking away the run, and force Locke to make plays. He struggled there a little bit in making plays. So you gotta pick your poison, and it's either you're going to man up Kalkbrenner, or you're going to really force him to take tough shots and not let them dominate you on the offensive. You're going to have to play a solid game. So we'll see.
If Nebraska is in that base defense and Kalkbrenner is skipping the ball out of the post, what's most important for Nebraska in recovering? What's most important in defending that skip pass against Creighton?
Your rotations, they're going to have to be crisp. Your rotations and your knowing where you're supposed to go and where the next man is going to go. And it can't be what we've seen in some of these other instances where two guys are at the ball or two guys are going. It's got to be great communication. You've got to know where one guy's going, where the next guy, know that person's going to drive, who's going to recover and defend that, where the skip goes, who's going to, you're going to have this, just a complete shell game and do it well.
They did not do it well last year. They give up 89 points. Now, you and I were sitting next to each other that game last year, Strick. The defense certainly got better after Creighton, but you saw a team that was well coached in its principles, that knew where the next pass was going to be. And I talked about this, I don't remember who with off air, but I remember one pass. It was in the first half. It was Trey Alexander on the right wing. He drives basically straight underneath the basket, goes airborne, it turns almost all the way around and still whips the pass basically straight back to where he came from, to Baylor Shireman, filling all the way around. That's a tough play, right? That's really hard to recover. You don't expect a guy to ever make that pass. But against St. Mary's, and I think especially in the first game against Rio Grande Valley, we saw Nebraska messing up a lot of the basic rotations that these guys have made, some of them for a couple of years, some of them for a few years now in the Fred Hoiberg system. Do you think that Nebraska's issues in rotation are just due to communication and they'll get worked out throughout the rest of the year?
Possibly, but that's the thing, is when you get a bunch of guys and you throw them together and you've got new terminology and you played a different way wherever you were, you come to a spot where you've got to gel with guys that understand it. Yeah, the principles will be good, but at the same time, communication is going to have to be at a premium. And if that's not the case, then you're going to be giving up a lot of open shots. Now, that's the difference between what Creighton does. They have a system. It's pretty much understood. Same as Nebraska. It's just they just do it a little bit better. Maybe they command a little bit more out of their guys, demand a little bit. I'm not going to say I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not, but they just seem to do it a little bit more efficiently and better. I think Nebraska will get better, but also you've got to have guys with some IQ, and that's how some guys recruit. They recruit. Some guys recruit with height. Some guys recruit with talent. Some guys recruit with measurables. Some guys recruit with IQ. And it just seems that Creighton's pretty consistent on how they bring guys into their program.
Couple things from the text line real quick. Eric, appreciate you texting in saying pause basically the whole time. Cubsker says, it's official. Cubsker will be in Memorial Stadium tomorrow. Don't worry, I will be standing up. Cubsker, break your curse. I know you've been talking about having that curse. Let's get it over the hump. Let's be done with that curse. We've seen a lot of streaks come to an end in the last couple of years. Why not this one for you? We'll go to break. When we get back, we'll talk about that game happening at Memorial Stadium tomorrow. Nebraska hosts Wisconsin, both teams at 5-5. What are we looking for out of this matchup? What are the key matchups, player versus player, unit versus unit? Strick, Austin, Ellie, we'll be right back on the block.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Leaves are falling and the temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Leagues are underway with winter leagues beginning December 1st. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your holiday, birthday, or bachelor parties, corporate and team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186. The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? That feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios on O Street. Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Explain to me again why we're sleeping on the ground.
Because we're thramping. Thrift camping. It's saving us money and getting us closer to nature.
But we don't need to thramp. I just combined our home and auto insurance with our State Farm agent, so we have a rate that fits our budget.
All right. Do you think our agent can bring us an air mattress?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to attend our upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. It's the best time to buy parts and schedule inspections all year. Take advantage of specials through December 13th with additional savings the day of your local expo. Find savings on oil and filters, gifts for under the tree, and pre-ordered John Deere parts. Visit with our trained and certified technicians and sign up for our winter service specials. Visit landmarkimp.com for a complete schedule and experience the Landmark difference. Sports.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're talking some Nebraska, Wisconsin here in this segment. We want your thoughts on tomorrow night's matchups, football and volleyball. 402-464-5685. Austin Norman with you in studio, Stricky on the road. Let's start with football here, Strick. Both Nebraska and Wisconsin are 5-5. We've talked about that all week. We've talked about the matchups of the head coaches, how tied together they are in terms of the narrative. Their hiring coming at basically the exact same time. But when you look at this matchup specifically for Nebraska, it's week 2 of Dana Holgorsen and the offense. We get to see it on the field. What do you think Nebraska needs to improve on the most from game 1 against USC to game 2 against Wisconsin under Dana Holgorsen to get the Huskers to win number 6?
No, they just got to stay ahead of the chains. They've got to move the ball and they've got to execute in the red zone. It's nothing that they. No changes on what they need to add or what they need to show. They just need to do the things that they haven't done well. And that's when they get the ball in the red zone, it's got to be 7s instead of 3s. So I'm sure Dana Holgorsen is keeping in mind that we need to make sure that once we get this ball into the red zone, that we're running things or I'm running things and putting things together to where they must execute in order to get it done. Now, Dylan's going to have to do better as well in that he's going to have to make the throws, understand what the defense is trying to accomplish, track as to whether it's a blitz or a zone or where the matchups are. He's going to have to do that work himself. I mean, it's not going to all be on Holgorsen and that team. I think that the line is giving him some time. I think he's had time. He's had guys open. He hasn't released the ball. The quick game it looks like it's helping him a little bit, and the run game was fine. There's not much that they really need to do better, except when they get to areas to where they need to score, they need to execute and get it done.
Nebraska 2 of 3 in the red zone last week. Problem was those 2 makes were field goals instead of touchdowns, like you're saying, put up 7 instead of put up 3. And I think the other frustrating part about at least one of those trips, Strick, was that it came after a turnover. Nebraska had a chance to retake the lead. It was 21-17 at that time. Nebraska gets the ball on the 16-yard line with a chance to go in, retake the lead. Huskers don't do it. They go just a few plays into the field goal attempt. But
there's a guy open. That's the thing I'm saying. He drew up a play that had the guy open. He just didn't hit the guy. So, I mean, I don't know what else he can do at that point. Got to go and have him watch film. And you know, like I said, you can't put the onus on Holgerson. I think there's like you said, and how they've been saying, Rule and all of them talking about guys need to. Well, what do they need? He said they need to. Rule has said guys need to make plays.
Right. That's what it comes down to. But I think especially defensively, right? Braden Locke will give the ball up. He's played in 9 games. He's thrown 9 interceptions. So just like last week, Strick, Maeva put the ball at risk quite a few times. Nebraska only came away with the 1 interception and the 1 forced fumble. If Locke's going to give you opportunities, he's not even completing 60% of his passes, go take it. And I think that's maybe the biggest storyline here is that Nebraska hasn't gone and taken win number 6, just like they haven't taken the ball away enough because they haven't taken advantage of opportunities in the red zone, whatever it is. Nebraska should have opportunities against Wisconsin, but the big question we've been asking for weeks, for months, for years is can Nebraska take enough advantage of them to get over the hump and win the game?
Well said. That's it. And that's where the conversations come in is there some mojo or some curse or some Joe Boo, whatever that's hanging over their heads, because it's like it's been there for them, or just right off the tip of the fingers, or bounces off the helmet, or this fumble, or you don't get that call on that grab. But take those out. That's what I'm doing. Don't even give them a chance. Like you just said, go and take it. Don't give them an opportunity. Don't give the refs an opportunity. Don't put yourself in a position where it has to come down to somebody else making the decision. Just go and take it. It's there.
It's all right there for Nebraska at 5-5. Again, a couple of the key playmakers that we saw more out of from Dana Holgerson last week than we did from a couple weeks ago. Emmett Johnson, I think he's got to get the start. I really do. You could talk me into Emmett Johnson being the backup if Dante Dowdell was so punishing, if he was making some hay, but then it'd be hard for me to say, yeah, take Dante Dowdell out in the fourth quarter, because why do you soften a defense up if not to continue to hit them with it? Maybe Nebraska goes back to the similar kind of role distribution it did, 10 carries and 7 catches for Emmett Johnson, 8 rushes for Dante Dowdell against USC. But Strick, I still maintain that Emmett Johnson showed enough last week to show me that he should be the starter, right? There's a role for Dante Dowdell. You won't survive against Wisconsin, a defense that held Oregon under 20 points with just 1 running back. But I think Emmett Johnson is a guy that Nebraska can really lean on down the stretch this year, just like they did last year. We're seeing the same story for Emmett Johnson, written off early in the year, buried on the depth chart, climbs his way up. I think he's an impact player for Nebraska on Saturday.
Yeah, he's a little bit more shifty. He's got good hips. I think his vision's a little bit better, and it seemed to be really good in the game against USC. So they need that. They need that from the start. But then also his ability out of the backfield. You saw some great routes and some great calls out of the backfield that it got him into some space and obviously got him a touchdown. So yeah, I think you can use him in multiple ways. He's shown that he can hold up under the pressure on the blitz packages and really protect whenever there's an extra man that comes available. I think that's where initially Dowdell probably had an advantage on him, but I think, like you said, that Emmett Johnson has shown and he has proven himself, so I think he does deserve the nod as well.
Let's go to the text line here, 402-464-5685. Babalu says, fixing Nebraska football is easy. Just give them the stop being bad speech. Has Nebraska thought of that? Just tell its guys to, hey, be good, don't be bad. Just as simple as that. Come on.
I don't understand the context.
It's a joke.
Be bad, not good. I know. That's what I'm saying. Oh, okay. So it was a funny. It was a funny.
It was a joke.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Soresco Joe says, I want so badly to pick Nebraska to win, but I'm afraid the offense still only scores 7 to 10 points. Unless the defense can score, I don't think Nebraska goes bowling tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong, Soresco Joe says. If it comes down to the defense needing to score, that's a big problem, right? Nebraska's put up a decent enough amount of yards, but like you said, Strick, moving the ball's not really been the problem for Nebraska. It's been paying it off at the end. We went over the statistical similarities between these two teams, and I said it during pregame against USC last week. I'm going to say it again here. There are going to be moments where Nebraska looks really good. There's going to be moments where Nebraska looks really bad, offensively and defensively, right? What it's going to come down to, almost assuredly, you look across the books, you look at different lines, different projections. Nebraska's a 1.5, 2.5, maybe up to a 3-point favorite, which tells you these teams are as evenly matched as the stats tell you they are. It is going to be a tight game. It needs to be a tight game. Nebraska needs to find a way to win one. Do it at home. Do it on senior day. Eventually, all the intangible edges have to add up in your favor, but it can't just be the intangibles. You have to take those intangibles, the mental edge, the emotional edge, the fire, whatever it is, and go make a play to win the game. Wisconsin's not going to give it to you just because it's senior day. Wisconsin's not just going to give it to you because you're at home and they're on the road. Go make a play, whether it's the defense scoring or special teams making a play or the offense, finding a way to get positive yards on 2nd and long for 3rd and manageable, to move the chains on 3rd down when they weren't expected to. Whatever it was, Nebraska should have the intangible edge, but it can't stop there. It has to actually become tangible on the field.
You don't want me to answer that. You said everything. That's it. That's exactly right, Austin. You laid out basically what it should look like and what you hope it's going to look like at the end of the day. And the advantage should be in your favor. You should go and take advantage of it. And if you can't get up for those guys who have struggled and have not seen or have not tasted the victory of getting into a bowl game, if you can't get up for them and do it for them, then I just don't know, man. You definitely, it's going to make it hard for any of us to believe that you're going to be able to go on the road and do it if you can't do it right here at home, where you're in the comforts of your own stadium and fans and the moment of what it is and it being senior night. At that point, I just don't know, Austin.
Also working in Nebraska's favor, no Braylon Allen, right? He's gone. He's off to the NFL. That works really well. Ches Malusi also out of the program. He left earlier in the season. Wisconsin still got good running backs. It's Wisconsin. They always have and they always will. But Strick, the X factor to me for Wisconsin is the same guy that it was last year, Will Pauling. He led Wisconsin in receptions. He had 8 of them for 79 yards, which also led the team. Didn't have a touchdown. The walk-off touchdown in overtime went to Jackson Acker. But Will Pauling just was a pain in Nebraska's butt, a thorn in the side last year. Whenever Wisconsin needed maybe not a big play, but an important play. 3rd and 6, they go to Pauling, he gets 7. 3rd and 4, they go to Pauling, he gets 7. He was Mr. Consistent last year against the way that Nebraska schemed against Tanner Mordecai and what they had to do against Braylon Allen in the run. USC showed there were some chinks in Nebraska's run defense last week. Nebraska can't have those show up against a Wisconsin team that I still think is going to recommit to running the ball with Phil Longo out. But you also have to find a way to make sure that you're on Will Pauling. You've identified where he's at on the field, what he likes to do, and where Wisconsin likes to get him the ball in those important moments, because I think that's where they're looking if they go to the air.
Well, here's what they did earlier in the season that was disappointing, because all I'm trying to think of who it was that they were playing. You might be able to remind me, but it was Illinois. And we knew that Illinois had a good balance, but what they did, who was it? Oh gosh darn it, my mind just drew a blank. The quarterback for Illinois.
Luke Altmaier.
Altmaier was just able to catch snaps, turn, look, and throw. Nebraska cannot give all of that space on the outside and just allow Locke to get into a rhythm. Force him to make throws. I don't care if they're deep. Force him to put the ball. If you give him just quick out, quick stops, quick slants, then it's going to be trouble. I mean, force him to have to make a throw. So for me, it's don't give him all this space just to allow him to have one read, one quick throw. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I like it. We'll go to break here, but before we do, Stricky, score prediction. Let's hear it. Does Nebraska get it done? Are the Huskers back in a bowl game by the time we talk on Monday?
Man, I said the score prediction last week, and it was the opposite way. So maybe I need to play is this opposite day. I'm gonna say 23-17 Wisconsin.
There you go. That's from the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA vet Eric Strick.
Now, mind you, I'm hoping for a reversal, an Uno reverse card. Since I called it the other way last week, I'm hoping there's a reverse card in there. That's really what I'm hoping for. But I'm saying that, and trying to throw some reverse mojo in there.
I like it. That is playing the game. That is chess, not checkers. That's why we have him on, Eric Strickland. Partner, enjoy your weekend. Have a good long one. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right.
He's Strick on the road. I'm Austin. We'll go to break. We'll talk some MLB awards, and then hour 2 will be all about college football. Weekend preview comes your way at 3. Lots of big games. And for 8-2 teams in the SEC, we'll talk about Indiana and Ohio State, as well as a fun weekend in the Big 12, as well as Army Notre Dame. And Michigan got the commit. They flipped Bryce Underwood out of Belleville High School in Michigan. So maybe behind the scenes that went into that decision for him, he will be a Wolverine and not a Tiger. That's all ahead in hour 2. One more segment, hour 1, right after this.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for affordable drinks and a great atmosphere this football season? Highball Bar has you covered. Whether it's pregame tailgating, postgame festivities, or in-game celebrations, Highball Bar is the place to be. With $4 beers, $4 mixed drinks, and more during their 4 to 8 p.m. daily happy hour, Highball Bar will quickly become your go-to place to sit back, unwind, and be your team's #1 fan. Highball Bar, located in downtown Lincoln, just 3 blocks from Memorial Stadium at 122 North 11th Street.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Slay the holidays this year with a gift that'll really get them going. One that's built to win, like the new Honda CRF-R Motocrosser. One that's built for fun, like a Honda Mini Moto. Or one for each member of the family, like a Honda CRF Trail Bike. At Rod's Power Sports, you'll find the motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side they'll love. During the Honda Gifts That Go sales event, you can slay the streets in style with a Grom Mini Moto, slay the trails with the CRF 50F, or pile into a Pioneer 1006 Deluxe Crew that can carry 6 elves over the fields and through the woods all year long. This year, don't just give any gift. Give the gift of outdoor adventure with a ride they'll never forget. Don't miss out. Head to Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln, Nebraska during the Honda Gifts That Go sales event. It's your chance to slay the holidays and your gift list. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for complete program and safety details.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit lovb.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One short segment to go in hour 1 of On the Block. I'm Austin Norman. Jay Foreman on his way in for hour 2, and then I'll get you set up for Old School from 4 to 6 with him and DP. Let's go to the text line here. Big B says these seniors have to want to play better than a 5-win player because that's pretty much what they are. Not be satisfied with 5 wins, be angry and play with an edge. Yes, absolutely. I would be curious to know the internal locker room dynamics, if it is these seniors that are pushing everyone else to play at above a 5-win sort of level, or if it's the younger guys who are trying to win more than 5 games. You don't know, any of the history of the last few years institutionally, any of the coaching changes or any of that, because I'm sure that no two players are the same. And for every, senior that says, yep, we're and maybe not, obviously wouldn't vocalize this, but their internal monologue or their actions say, yep, same old, it's enough to get it done. This is just who we are. There's a senior that says, no, this isn't good enough. We have to push forward and want more. Obviously, we don't know who those players are on either side. You hope that there's more on the let's push through and get to win number 6. But the young guys too, right? Which seniors are they following? Which ones are they trying to rise above the standard? I don't know. That's what makes all of this so fascinating to watch play out. Derek in a car, appreciate you listening here. He says, great primer for the game. He also says, if the special teams can play error-free punt and kick on both sides, is it enough for us to win? I don't know. It can't be just special teams, right? The offense has to improve. The defense needs to certainly better than it was last weekend, allowing almost 450 total yards. Playing clean special teams at the very least is the bare minimum, right? I don't think any of us in our right minds could expect anything special or spectacular from Nebraska on special teams, especially like you're saying in the punt game. And I assume you're saying the kickoff return and kickoff coverage as well. We've seen Wisconsin burn Nebraska in special teams before. Haven't really seen it with, Nebraska burning Wisconsin on special teams. So, yeah, Brian Buschini has to have a good day. If this game comes down to, like Strick said, something in the neighborhood of 23-17, Buschini's got to average, 43, 45 or more yards per punt. If Nebraska gets it to midfield, hey, guess what? Kick it 45 yards, have it go out of bounds at the 5. Obviously easier to say than do. But this is a game where, hey, Brian Buschini, you're a black shirt. Go prove it, right? If you still have that black shirt. This is a game where John Hull will probably be relied on because 7 is better than 3, but 3 is better than 0. So, yeah, be clean in special teams. I don't think they're necessarily a game changer in a positive sense for Nebraska, though. Then what is the latest on Quinn Clark's potential emergence? We'll see. That's a name that's been thrown out quite a bit. I'm intrigued to see if that truly is the young guy that Dana Holgerson was alluding to. He obviously got brought up yesterday at Matt Rule's press conference as well. Big frame, lengthy sort of receiver. There's got to be a role for a guy like that. And since he only has, 2 games left in the season, he's free to play since he won't be burning his red shirt. So, yeah, throw Quinn Clark out there. Maybe not, a heavy snap count, but certainly enough to let the kids show you what he can do. And then 67-85. Can we just get to go big red and act like we can smash Wisconsin? Rivalry or not, I hate losing to them. Let's not forget what their old coach said about Nebraska on live TV. That's just the thing, right? Let's just act like we can smash Wisconsin. That's what's got to be happening in the locker room. And acting like you're going to smash Wisconsin is not a false sense of bravado. It's not being cocky. It's being confident, right? Sometimes you got to talk the talk before you walk the walk. But if that's the case, you got to back it up. Most often, you prefer to walk the walk and then only talk the talk when you have to, right? It's been far too long since we've seen Nebraska walk the walk. It's been 10 tries since Nebraska beat Wisconsin. It was all the way back in 2012. It's been a dozen years. That's too long. So, yeah, you do kind of have to fake it till you make it at some point, but then you also have to manifest it, right? Because right now, Nebraska's just faking it. It is darn near time to make it. Let's go to break here. When we get back, we'll dive into a fun weekend in college football. We'll talk a lot of Indiana, Ohio State. Can Indiana, the upstart Hoosiers, pull the upset under Kurt Tegnetti on the road in Columbus? Which 8-2 SEC team gets upended? Maybe it's one of them. Maybe it's none of them. But I bet that we're going to have some dramatics in the SEC. It's kind of cupcake week, but there are also some interesting matchups where some 8-2 teams are on the road and could get toppled. The Big 12 race. Kansas, Colorado, BYU, Arizona, Iowa State, Utah. 3 really fun games there. And, of course, Army versus Notre Dame. Can the Black Knights do what the Midshipmen could not? I'm Austin Norman. Jay Foreman will join me in hour 2 of On the Block, brought to you by our friends at Nebco when we get back.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Slay the holidays this year with a gift that'll really get them going. One that's built to win, like the new Honda CRF-R motocrosser. One that's built for fun, like a Honda Mini Moto. Or one for each member of the family, like a Honda CRF trail bike. At Rod's Power Sports, you'll find the motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side they'll love. During the Honda Gifts That Go sales event, you can slay the streets in style with the Grom Mini Moto, slay the trails with the CRF 50F, or pile into a Pioneer 1006 Deluxe Crew that can carry 6 elves over the fields and through the woods all year long. This year, don't just give any gift. Give the gift of outdoor adventure with a ride they'll never forget. Don't miss out. Head to Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln, Nebraska during the Honda Gifts That Go sales event. It's your chance to slay the holidays and your gift list. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for complete program and safety details.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
The Rabbit Hole Bakery, located at 8th and Q in the Haymarket, is the ideal place for fresh breakfast items or desserts made daily. Cream puffs, cinnamon rolls, carrot cake, sweet potato pecan cookies, brownies, blondies. Do I need to keep going? What about bread pudding with homemade bourbon caramel sauce? Stop by the Rabbit Hole Bakery at 8th and Q in the Haymarket today to satisfy your cravings. And if you're looking for larger group orders, they do that too. Order ahead on their website at therabbitholebakery.com today.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine & Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine & Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And electrical.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC. With a Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And he's going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome back in. It is On the Block. Austin Norman with you at 1040 O Street Show. As always, brought to you by the great people at NEBCO. See it there underneath. The guy filling in for Strick, Jake Bakoven.
Hey.
Here, filling in for Strick. Jay will be here in just a couple minutes. But until then, me and Bach are holding down the fort. Again, thanks to NEBCO. They're looking for mechanics, especially for constructors. Make sure that you check them out at nebcoinc.com or constructorslincoln.com. If you want to join the crew today, that'd be great. You could be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. It's a little older than Nebraska basketball's rivalry with Creighton. It's only been 57 matchups for those. Bach, I know you do show with a lot of football guys.
That's right.
That's kind of your role here is run the board to keep the football guys in line. But you're a basketball guy. You're a hoop head. You look at this Nebraska-Creighton matchup at 7 o'clock tonight at CHI Health Center. Well, what are you looking for? What stands out to you?
Well, obviously, I kind of wish it was a little later in the season. It feels like it's a little bit, football's just still kind of in taking predominantly the marquee, I suppose, here. But it is always exciting to get Nebraska and Creighton together. And, I'll be honest, I haven't been too excited about Nebraska basketball. Just the way that it's looked, it's not too surprising that it's taking a little bit to trying to figure out what type of lineups that you want to use and all that. But I was very impressed with the output that they put up against St. Mary's. I think if they would have maybe been able to win that game, which is, maybe a Bryce Bryce hits that final shot, goes to overtime. Who knows? And then I think there'd be a little bit more excitement for this game. But man, if you want to talk about getting people to grab your attention, this is your opportunity. So not just because it's Creighton, because it's a top 15 team nationally, people are gonna focus in on it. So I think it's an exciting game. I think it's one of those games where Nebraska did go out and get a lot of bigs. I mean, they are Big Ten ready this year, and certainly with Kalkbrenner over there at Creighton, this is one of those games where it's going to help out quite a bit. And so I'm really excited for it. And I think if Nebraska is going to come out the victor, and I think it's going to be this way a lot until maybe they do kind of figure out some of those other roles, it's going to have to be a lot on Bryce Williams tonight. You can't have, he's had games throughout his career where he's been the leading scorer, where he's been kind of the go-to guy, and then the next game he'll go 3 for 6 and kind of just let some other people get involved. I don't think that can be the case tonight. He's got to go off, I think.
It's a really interesting matchup between Bryce Williams for Nebraska and then Jemiah Neal on the other side for Creighton. Neal's really the only wing size defender that Creighton has. Jason Green is 6'8", but he's more a power forward. I like Bryce Williams athletically against a guy like Jason Green. Miller North product, played with Hunter Salas back in the day, so there's that little in-state nugget. But with that matchup with Bryce Williams and Jemiah Neal, Nebraska, I think, needs to go at him early, not recklessly, not being stupid. But if you get Jemiah Neal in foul trouble within the first 6-8 minutes of the game, then, Bach, you have matchup nightmares for Bryce Williams. Either a smaller guy where he can cook out of the mid-post or a bigger guy we can use his handle on the perimeter. So I think that if Nebraska does look at Bryce Williams early, it's got to be him going downhill with Kalkbrenner cleared out of the play if possible.
Oh, yeah, I'd love that. I do think you're right. I think there's a pretty good matchup there. And for Creighton, as good of a team as they are, they're kind of trying to figure out their lineup and situation as well. And as you mentioned, their backcourt's smaller. I mean, than maybe a typical backcourt. So maybe Nebraska just size-wise can take advantage of that altogether. And then the other thing is, and Nebraska's not shooting any better beyond the arc, but Creighton, usually we know them as a great three-point shooting team. Ashworth can certainly get it going. I mean, they've got some guys that can do it, but overall just shooting around 30% from beyond the arc tonight. So we've seen those Creighton-Nebraska games where it just kind of gets out of hand and there's 3 after 3 after 3. I don't think you'll see that tonight. Just make sure Ashworth doesn't get too many off.
Last year, it was Baylor Shireman. He went 6 of 19 from 3. I forgot he took that many of them, but the 6 makes were pretty much all in that one stretch where Creighton put that game away. You mentioned Ashworth. His matchup against Raleigh Wooster is going to be fascinating to watch because I think Ashworth is a little smaller, a little quicker than Raleigh Wooster is. Creighton will obviously set a bunch of screens for him and make Raleigh Wooster navigate them. But can Nebraska use Raleigh Wooster in the same way they did Sam Griesel in 2022, right? Bring Ashworth down to the post and get enough buckets there. Do you think that Nebraska can go back to that well again this year?
I think they can, but Wooster's missed a few too many bunnies so far early on.
Well, who hasn't on this team?
Right. And he's got a long career before coming to Nebraska, so he's not one of those guys that's kind of figuring out his game. But it's obviously basketball. Make or miss game, a matter of inches a lot of the times. I would try it. I would certainly give it a shot and see if they could get that working. If he can get rolling on the night. Right now, Wooster comes in as their 3rd leading scorer, so he could be a key to this game. Yeah, I absolutely look forward to that.
How have you assessed Juwan Gary's play through 4 games for Nebraska?
It's weird because I think with returning players that you have, there's very few of them, and so you kind of thought that it was like, okay, Bryce and Juwan, and what Hoiberg's role is, but maybe it would be kind of like to fill in around those roles to see what you can get there. He kind of seems to me just a little bit finding his own role, which is odd to say, because it's pretty carved out. It's just certain guys play better with different lineups out there. And it just feels like early on, and hopefully he can make the adjustment and play a little cleaner. But it just feels like maybe last year's personnel just kind of worked better for his role to kind of be more in that the kind of carve it out as the hustle guy, the defender, gonna get a bucket. They can go to him when they need him, but you don't expect him to score. Here he just kind of feels like another guy at times that's out on the perimeter waiting for a shot, and that's not necessarily his game.
It's really not. He's 3 of 12 from 3 so far this year. That's tied for the 3rd most 3-point attempts. 9 of 20 overall on 2s, which is the 2nd most attempts from 2. So taking the 2nd most shots on the team, averaging the 2nd most points on the team, which is how that does work out, not just not just because of the number of shots, but he actually has, made enough. And 15 of 18 at the free throw line is a really good sign, right? This is a guy that for his career doesn't shoot 83% at the free throw line, but he has so far. Bryce Williams, the only player for Nebraska that's scored 75 points this year through 4 games. He is Nebraska's leading scorer. If Juwan Gary is still trying to find that role on offense, Bach, we know that he has this reputation as an all Big Ten caliber defender. I don't think we've seen that for a consistent game from him yet. We see it from, possession here, possession there. He sure did it on St. Mary's last possession of the game up in Sioux Falls. But to me, it just feels like there should be another level for Juwan Gary defensively to live up to his reputation. And if there's ever a night for Juwan Gary to be that dog that Nebraska thinks he can be, it has to be tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got to get the best out of your best players. And as we're talking about, the new roles that you're trying to figure out, he still should be one of your best players and team leaders. And he does provide that emotion. I mean, if he barely gets in on a play, or, the offensive player he's guarding steps out of bounds and Gary doesn't even do much to make it happen, he'll still rile up the troops and get everybody going. So, just need to see more consistent play out of him. And I think that's part of maybe feeling like this team just isn't quite gluing is that that maybe that hasn't happened yet. But we know it's there in him. And that's at least makes you feel a little bit better as a Nebraska basketball fan. Is they're kind of sifting through some early season struggles, I would say, from Juwan Gary, that if they can iron that out, we know he's got better play ahead.
Do you like that Fred Hoiberg stuck with the 2 big lineup that he finished last season with, but instead of Josiah Alec and Rink Mast, it's Ben Berke, Boyington, and Braxton Mia in the starting lineup, aside from the one game that Mia was dealing with the sprained ankle. Do you like Fred Hoiberg sticking with that big lineup, or do you think Nebraska could maybe downsize and bring either Boyington or Mia off the bench?
I mean, they could do it. It depends on the matchups. We'll say, I mean, Berke hasn't got off to a great start this season either. It's still kind of figuring out what these guys are. I mean, if Berke continues to play, the way that he has, not that he leads the team in rebounds, he's got some things that he's doing, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't feel like that you got the same punch there. I personally kind of. I know it's more of the hustle and not the body type, but Andrew Morgan still kind of seems like, especially offensively, Nebraska's best go-to. So I could see at some point his role increasing, maybe even to starter. Maybe even you pair him and Braxton Mia, then you kind of got rim protection and to make up a little bit maybe for Morgan. But I don't know. I'm still waiting to kind of. I hate to say it. I'm just kind of wait to see it. I don't quite see it with Berke yet.
And see, I don't see it with Mia the way he's being used. 7'1", 250, runs the floor, super tall. I just don't think Nebraska's using him where he's comfortable. And maybe it'll come with time. But what they're asking him to do on the perimeter offensively doesn't seem comfortable with him. He's got 1 or 2 lobs so far this year. That's not enough. And then even defensively, Nebraska is still sending double teams to him, and they're not doing what Creighton does and funneling everything to their big man Ryan Kalkbrenner at the rim. So to me, with the way Fred Hoiberg wants to play, Braxton Mia strikes me as the odd one out. If Nebraska, and now he's the biggest name of those transfers, right, with his production from Washington, his size, and what hypothetically he can do, it'd be a tough call. And I'm not saying bench him and he never sees the floor, right? He's got an important role to play on this team. But to me, if Nebraska is going to go big, it's because they see Berke Boyington as a bigger, thicker wing who can play up a position at the 5 when Nebraska wants to go focus on offense. But if they want to stick with the 2 bigs, I'm with you. I think Morgan gives you the best of both worlds. Maybe not an elite defender and not an elite offensive guy, but he's more comfortable on the perimeter than Mia is. He's a more traditional big man than Berke Boyington is. So you can kind of shuffle their roles back and forth on offense and defense for who has the quote unquote power forward responsibilities and quote unquote center responsibilities. I just don't know if Nebraska would make that call given everything that went into landing Braxton Mia.
Well, let me ask you this too, because as we go down the roles too, I'm interested to see how much Gavin Griffith's getting, because he didn't get in this much last game, and they are going to have to at some point find 8 or maybe 9 guys that you go with instead of as many guys they've been throwing out there. Does he seem like an odd man out? I mean, Ulyss has played, everybody's just to me, again, you just need some standout performances to start to evaluate how you're going to piece this thing together.
I do think that Nebraska ends up settling probably every coach wants to find 8, like you're saying. I think Nebraska is in a spot where it can legitimately say it goes to 10, but man, that's a lot of mouths to feed. That's a lot of juggling that I don't think Nebraska has to do. The lineup that I like best right now for this team: Williams, Gary, Wooster, Boyuktengel, and Esijan. Esijan played pretty darn well against St. Mary's. He was that spark off the bench, and maybe that's where Nebraska likes him, right? What Keisei Tominaga did a few years ago, and CJ Wilcher at times last year as well. Maybe Nebraska likes him there. But I think that Nebraska is capable enough defensively, even with Braxton Mia off the floor in that lineup, because of the style that they want to play. I think they can get away with that. So I like those 5 guys. That's my favorite lineup that I've seen from Nebraska so far. Then you get down to, you got to play Mia. You'll have to play Morgan. There's 7 right there. So then for that 8th spot, it's what do you need? Do you need Gavin Griffiths? Do you need Aaron Eulis? Or do you need Sam Hoiberg? Right? And I think, to me, Nebraska doesn't have many wings. In that starting lineup, Bryce Williams is the 2. There are plenty of lineups where Bryce Williams will be the 3 or the 4, and that's really where Gavin Griffiths can play. If he's not shooting well, if he's not going to shoot better than 25% from 3, he's basically unplayable, right? You're there to shoot the ball, maybe play a little bit of defense and be tall. But if he's not going to shoot, he's the odd one out. I'm still not a huge fan of Aaron Eulis. I don't know what he brings to the table as a table-setting point guard that Raleigh Wooster doesn't, or that Bryce Williams didn't grow into. I don't love point Bryce. I really don't. But there's enough possessions that Nebraska seems to like it. Eulis isn't a good shooter from the outside. He's 0 of 6 on threes and only 3 of 5 at the free throw line. 13 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists for him on the year. If he's your 10th guy, that's fine. But if he's your immediate backup point guard you go to when Raleigh Wooster gets in foul trouble or needs a blow, yeah, miss me with that. And Sam Hoiberg, our own Sam Hoiberg, right? Nothing but love for the young man. That's another guy that is capable of shooting, but for the season, he's 0 of 3 from 3, which again, that's not a huge sample size. People go 0 of 3 all the time. For his career, he's a 32% shooter from 3. When he really broke out in the 22-23 season, he was a 41% shooter from 3. And maybe, that team just fit better with what he was able to do. Maybe he just had a hot streak. Is he a 41% shooter? Is he a 30% shooter like he showed last year on similar but slightly higher volume and more minutes per game? For Sam Hoiberg to have a consistent role on this team, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think he would tell you he needs to shoot it better than he has, right? Because, yes, his energy has changed some games for Nebraska. You can't just completely get rid of him, but unless Sam Hoiberg is going to either handle the ball more, be more of a creator to set guys up, then I don't say he can't do it, but we haven't seen it from him. He hasn't been given that responsibility. So if he's not going to create and he's not going to be a consistent spot-up threat from 3, he's a 5 minutes a game guy for me. Again, love the energy, love the hustle, love the effort. You need a guy like that on your team. But at some point, results have to matter. I don't know if this is a tournament team for Nebraska, but if that's their goal, you got to start making those hard decisions now because you're already an 1/8 of the way through your season, about almost a 1/6 of the way through your season after tonight.
Well, and that's what I think, I'd love to narrow that down, get the rotation set. But I wonder if throughout the year it's going to be a lot based on kind of just who's been playing well in matchups, which isn't a terrible thing. But at some point, you're just, and we're too early in the season to be complaining about it too much. But, at some point, you want to see some separation from guys that are going to make it. I mean, I kind of see Esijan, and he's been that spark so far. But kind of like you were saying with Griffiths, if he's not hitting his threes, how much is he doing for you? And you kind of said the same thing with Hoiberg, where it's like, he's good for a couple steals a game. So, I mean, he can steal some possessions for you. And so he's got, he's got a role there. But it's still like, am I comfortable enough with him against an on-ball defender that, has him being the primary ball handler? Would you go with Eulis? And that's why. So I just think you just got kind of this group of guys that's just there, and it's kind of based on matchup, based on what you need that night. You can shuffle in and out.
Someone needs to stand out,
right? Somebody and that's why tonight again with Bryce, this team still is at the point where it's like, I think Bryce has to be Superman for them to get a shot against quality competition.
And I don't think that's sustainable. And that's nothing to do with Bryce Williams, right? That has nothing to do with Bryce Williams. He's proven he can get buckets. but we've seen these kind of one-man bands before, right? Think about Texas A&M last year, Wade Taylor the fourth. The way he was able to create, he knocked down shots, but then other guys did around him as well, right? If Bryce Williams is going to have to be Superman and take on the bulk of the creation and the scoring, that's a load to handle. Oh, and you expect more out of him defensively? If he's an NBA guy, he'll make it work. If he's just a good college player, you'll start to see some of the cracks show. And he's been good for Nebraska. He's the least of my concerns. Again, only 4 games in, but at the same time, already 4 games in. I think you can't really, separate those two because they're both true. Nebraska ball fan says, I would like to see Gavin Griffiths get some more confidence and be tougher on defense. His defense was why he didn't get much playing time in Sioux Falls from what I saw. Yeah, Nebraska ball fan, hope you enjoyed your trip up to Sioux Falls, had safe travels and all that. Let me know how you enjoyed the Pentagon. I thought it was a great environment, but I was there as media, so let me know from the fan perspective. I don't necessarily worry about Gavin Griffiths' defense because he played for Steve Peichel as a freshman. That's not easy to do. That is a hard-nosed, blue-collar, bucket of nails type of program. So if Gavin Griffiths is struggling defensively, I would say it's for one of 2 reasons. Number one, the role that he's being placed in. He's not an on-ball stopper. He's a good team guy. He's a good backside help guy. He can read passing lanes, but he's not going to be the guy that you say, hey, go step in front of Terrence Shannon Jr. for 15 minutes a game and stop him. Obviously, I know Terrence Shannon Jr. is with the Minnesota Timberwolves right now, but that's not Gavin Griffiths' role. He's got to shoot. He's got to be a positional defender. He's got to rebound, right? He's not going to be a guy that's going to go get his own bucket very often. There is a role for him, but he's got to prove that he can do that role.
Yeah, and again, I just you go back to it, and I know it's it kind of gets frustrating for people that don't like the new way of basketball, but a lot of it's the 3-point game, and Nebraska brought a lot of these guys in, and their role is going to be dependent on if they can hit the 3 or how much of the role can be. And Griffiths, that was part of the expectation. You mentioned he's shooting at 25%. A season so far, 35% is doing well, but Bear K, that's part of what his total game is, and where you can see a lot more value in him if he starts knocking down those shots. He's down to 14% so far in the year. Bryce is going to take more contested ones, just because of the level of defense that's going to be on him. Him and Gary both under 20%. So, or excuse me, 30%. Worcester up there to close to 40%. He's doing his job kind of, when they're open. But Nebraska as a team, 3-1 now, but they're not going to finish that way if you're shooting 25% beyond the arc for a team that really relied, with Casey and some of those pieces that they had on 3-pointers last year. So again, it's just interesting. I don't think that can be the identity this year, and I'm fine with that, but you're just not going to win a whole lot of games at 25% 3-point shooting. And
if you're not shooting 55% from 2.
Yeah. No, what they are doing is great is hitting free throws, which
80% already.
Creighton's doing as well. But, as far as that goes, that'll keep them in a lot of games.
It sure will. Bach, appreciate you jumping in.
Yeah.
Thanks for Nebraska Creighton talk.
It's been nice.
Yeah, it has. We'll go to break. Jay Foreman in the building. We'll talk some college football and maybe some Daniel Jones getting released when we get back here to On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Slay the holidays this year with a gift that'll really get them going. One that's built to win, like the new Honda CRF-R motocrosser. One that's built for fun, like a Honda Mini Moto. Or one for each member of the family, like a Honda CRF trail bike. At Rod's Power Sports, you'll find the motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side they'll love. During the Honda Gifts That Go sales event, you can slay the streets in style with a Grom Mini Moto, slay the trails with the CRF 50F, or pile into a Pioneer 1006 Deluxe Crew that can carry 6 elves over the fields and through the woods all year long. This year, don't just give any gift. Give the gift of outdoor adventure with a ride they'll never forget. Don't miss out. Head to Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln, Nebraska during the Honda Gifts That Go sales event. It's your chance to slay the holidays and your gift list. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for complete program and safety details.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Herch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to attend our upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. It's the best time to buy parts and schedule inspections all year. Take advantage of specials through December 13th with additional savings the day of your local expo. Find savings on oil and filters, gifts for under the tree, and pre-ordered John Deere parts. Visit with our trained and certified technicians and sign up for our winter service specials. Visit landmarkimp.com for a complete schedule and experience the Landmark difference.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements. We fix basements.
At F Foundation Repair, we've been fixing basements for over 30 years. We're your local foundation repair experts. Our warranties stay here. Our people work here. You can trust us to take care of your home. Go to WeFixBasements.com to learn more.
The Rabbit Hole Bakery, located at 8th and Q in the Haymarket, is the ideal place for fresh breakfast items or desserts made daily. Cream puffs, cinnamon rolls, carrot cake, sweet potato, pecan cookies, brownies, blondies. Do I need to keep going? What about bread pudding with homemade bourbon caramel sauce? Stop by the Rabbit Hole Bakery at 8th and Q in the Haymarket today to satisfy your cravings. And if you're looking for larger group orders, they do that too. Order ahead on their website at therabbitholebakery.com today.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First Five Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hey guys, it's Austin with 93.7 The Ticket. Stick with us all day Sunday for 3 of the NFL's biggest games of the weekend. At noon, a classic rivalry takes center stage as the Washington Commanders host the Dallas Cowboys. Washington currently trails Philadelphia by a game and a half in the NFC East. Sunday afternoon, we'll bring you a playoff rematch between the 49ers and the Packers at Lambeau Field, and Sunday Night Football will feature the Los Angeles Rams hosting the Philadelphia Eagles, with the visitors listed as 3-point favorites. You can catch all the biggest NFL games right here on Lincoln's home for the NFL, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block, brought to you by Nebco. Don't forget they're looking for mechanics, for constructors. They've got immediate job openings there, as well as for laborers, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Laborers' wages start at $23 and up based on experience. To learn more, visit nebcoinc.com or constructorslincoln.com. Austin Norman, joined now by Jay Foreman. Jay, thanks for hopping in. Appreciate it.
What's going on?
I am glad there's a chair between you and Ellie. We don't have to put the business out on Front Street.
We can't do that. We can't.
We're going to be civil here.
Of course.
Okay. Just want to clear the air and just so we're all good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump into some quarterback news. I'll let you and DP and Ellie go through the college football weekend on Old School. Let's start with the news in the Big Ten. Michigan gets the commitment from Bryce Underwood. They officially flipped the number one player in the 2025 class.
Yeah.
Of course, that's notable because of the $10 million or more offer that he's got on the table over the 4 years from the Wolverines, financed by some of their biggest financial backers in the NIL space, including Dave Portnoy and some other big business leaders up there with ties to the Blue in Ann Arbor. Holy cow. I mean, I think we all saw this coming. It's hard to pass up $10 million. But I got a lot of questions because I guess the first one for me is the $10 million worth it to play for this staff? Right? I'm not saying that Michigan is stuck in the mud. But after what Bryce Underwood saw up close and personal from the quarterback position for Michigan this year, what he saw from the last couple of years from Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier, LSU has done a better job developing quarterbacks under its current staff than Michigan has done under its own.
Right.
Now, maybe there's something about staying home. Maybe there's something, I'm sure, about the money. But to me, Jay, this strikes me as one of those short-sighted decisions, right? A guy that's chasing the money now instead of maybe giving himself the chance to put up better stats in college and have a better NFL career had he gone to LSU.
Yeah, and I think it's there's a lot of moving parts. I mean, obviously, the Rashada deal with Florida, that was about the same amount of money almost, right?
I think Rashada was up like 14.
Yeah, but it was obviously it was in the it was fake, it was fake money. It was monopoly money. With him, look, he's from Michigan now, so there, it's not too far of a stretch for him to go there. Now, obviously, the initial recruiting process, Harbaugh was on staff, and obviously a lot of other coaches that he took with him to the Chargers were on staff. So, and then LSU, like you said, has a better track history, especially recently with not only, Heisman winners in Daniels, but then obviously Nussmeier probably going to be a first-round pick, second round at worst.
Mm-hmm.
And even guys, before Joe Burrow. And so it is a little bit of a stretch to go to Michigan considering what they look like at face value. But then also I think in the recruiting process, they're showing him different things that they want to do. And obviously Michigan, I think, does have talent at wide receiver that can match up with his skill set. And then his decision, initially I thought it was somewhat short-sighted, but realistically knowing that there's going to be collective bargaining and you're going to the 105, now granted he would get a lion's share of it anyway, but more or less he's getting the last one if it goes to collective bargaining and the 105. It's a good deal for him to take advantage of that type of money right now. And I think he's just gambling on, and it's not too far of a gamble that he's going to step right in, start as a freshman, and they have the skills, the skill positions to match up with his skill set, and also Michigan offensive line wise over the long history, will be able to protect him. And so,
and I think Michigan needed this kid as well, right? If Sharon Moore is going to be the guy, Sharon Moore needed Bryce Underwood much more than Bryce Underwood needed Michigan.
Right, and that's where the price tag came. And that's where you see, listen, if you negotiate out of, which is crazy, they're the defending national champion. Obviously, they won't be this year. Out of desperation, the price tag goes up, and he knows it, or he knew it, being a local kid too.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it is everybody thought that Portnoy was the big backer. He threw, I'm assuming he threw a couple. I don't know how much, but where the money really came from was the billionaire. I heard about this, the billionaire, but his girlfriend is a big Michigan fan, and she's the alum. So that's where the money came from, and it doesn't matter where it came from, as long as it's good. It'll be interesting to see how he does. I think he'll step right in and do well. I know that Michigan, I have to look at it a little bit deeper. I think they got a quarterback commit last year that was a high 4-star from North Carolina. I think he was the North Carolina Player of the Year. I think he is from the Charlotte area. Because I think you remember he practiced with
Jaden Davis from Providence Day.
Yeah. And he practiced with them in the bowl game.
Yeah.
That's right. And so it'll be interesting to see what he does. For him, if I'm him, I'm in the portal right now.
Woo.
Today.
Yeah.
Or just after the season, because even if it was even Steven, I highly doubt he got the same type of NIL package, so what's coming, down the pipe. And so, it's just a part of it, day and age, and Michigan has their, their starter for, at least for the next, or in their mind, next 2 or 3 years, or the next 3 years, but, hopefully for them.
Do you think some of the desperation from Michigan too came from missing on Dante Moore last cycle?
A little bit, but I think this kid is local. I think Moore is a California kid, right?
See, I thought he was a Michigan guy that went to the West Coast. I'm trying to.
Well, maybe so, but yeah, then that.
He's from Ohio.
Okay,
from East Cleveland.
Sure, yeah. So then now you losing that proximity twice.
From Detroit.
And so Sharon Moore was known as a really good recruiter. And matter of fact, I think he was originally the recruiting coordinator and tight end coach before I think he came the offensive line coach. Because they had a really good offensive line coach. Yeah. So he had been kind of working his way up in the recruiting path. But I mean, this kid, I think it's from like Belleville, Michigan. You had to do what you had to do to get him. And we went through it here in Nebraska. We got the number one recruit or quarterback and number one recruit, and Dylan. So it can change the face of your program or the perceived projection of or perceived trajectory of your program by getting somebody like that. Now you got to make sure that you're surrounded with viable pieces and you continue to grow.
You know who else is at Belleville right now?
Connor Stallions.
Stallions.
Yeah. Michigan just keeps Michigan.
Got blackballed from college football. He's a Michigan man through and through. He fell on the sword for him.
And didn't get anything. I'm sure he got paid. I'm sure he got compensated. And
probably up front.
Look, he's not just a fan of Michigan. He's in like the cult for Michigan.
Oh, this is like some Waco stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, look, man. I mean, good for them. They got to do what they got to do. And the way that college football is changing, and I think that a lot of these guys and a lot of these kids that can take advantage of, getting this NIL money. And I think that the way the contract was initially said, he's make $1 million, or initially reported, $1 million the first year, $2 the next, and then maybe that's $3 million, and then it's supposed to be a total of 10, right? And then 3, and then 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So if he plays well, then you know what? You might get a little bit of a bargain,
right?
So more power to him. Has some business sense. I'm sure there's some upfront money. Nevertheless, come January, he's going to be a rich young man.
Ain't that the truth? A little bit more from the Big Ten before briefly touching on the NFL news at the end of the hour. Some news out of Iowa City. I know that's next week's opponent, right? We got Wisconsin tomorrow. But 24/7 Sports is reporting that Iowa cornerback Jamari Harris has opted out of the rest of the regular season. He's got 3 interceptions and 7 pass breakups for the Hawkeyes, saying, nope, I'm done. And then Cade McNamara, just about half an hour ago, puts out a statement on Twitter feeding some rumors, essentially. It says, I know there are all those rumors going on out there about my current status on the Iowa football team. These are ridiculous accusations, 100% false. My status is the same as it's always been, a proud member of this football team. Jay, everyone in the conference has drama. It's not just Nebraska.
Yeah.
Please just go win a game and make the other team's drama worse for once.
Yeah, I think it's the social media day and age. It's the transfer portal, NIL, because everybody's doing it to protect their brand. The young man, I think his last name is Harris. When you talked about the defensive back, it's probably because he's played well enough throughout the regular season. Knows that Iowa's not going to be in the college football playoffs, and then continue to practice and for the bowl game, and then he knows that our best chance is probably to get ready for the pros. I would probably like to see guys finish out the regular season, but sometimes you're going to see guys tap out early or cut game or two early, and they say, "Oh, what's worth it?" And especially when you have 2 games in a short period of time. So if you play Saturday, we play late afternoon. You're not getting down to 6 or 7. Then you're playing here again, or us in our case, Friday night. Then you get guys. It's only, to me, it's 24 hours, but to them, it's a big deal. Holidays and all that, so forth and so on. You probably got some people in your ears. Hopefully, it's the right people. Cade McNamara, who knows if he's coming back for his 85th year? Is he going to be the starter? I think he's got, is he going to play and all this other stuff? I know the quarterback that is kind of like their RPO guy. He's hurt, and so Cade's supposed to play. Well,
they got their walk-on linebacker.
Yeah,
playing quarterback now.
You just never know. I mean, Cade McNamara is a tricky story, because when I thought about it, when they had the competition with him and McCarthy, and we talked about it, I felt like, look, he took him to 12-0 or 12-1 or whatever it was the year before. How is this even an option? And we could have had a good argument that he actually, in the 2 competition games, 2 each, felt like he might have did better than McCarthy. Then obviously you saw the difference. But it's amazing to me, and this is what we always talk about, the transfer portal. What you do at said college initially doesn't mean it's going to be the same when you go to another school.
Especially one with the offensive tradition or lack thereof of Iowa.
Right. But it felt like remember, Eric All came. Then you had Lachey, always going to be able to run the ball. They went and got 4
Caleb Brown guy from Ohio State.
Yeah, and they got another 4 or 5 other receivers out of the portal. And they never really got out of neutral as far as, being an explosive offense, both by, injury bug, but then also Cade McNamara did not look like the same type of quarterback or same quarterback as he was. And so it'll be interesting. I mean, it's hard to really gauge what these kids are thinking, what they're wanting to do, and who's talking to them, and really, in one hand, I think for coaches it's a hard job to do, right? Because you want to coach a team, you want to invest and you want to develop them. But then in another way, you can't trust these kids, because there'll be a kid that might come in and take advantage of, like this right here, Michigan, Bryce Underwood, a ton of money. But is he truly invested? Because if things don't go right, will he jump in the portal? How much stick-to-itiveness does he have? And is he really, if he jumps into, I've said this, the kid jumps in the portal, I think it's December 9th. He's been in the portal since week 6. Straight up. Because going into the portal is a huge decision.
Well, it's a life decision, not just a football decision.
Because you got to think your education is in limbo. After the semester.
Hope them credits transfer, boy.
Right. That too. New environment, new teammates, let alone scholarship check, or, access to what you originally have at said, original place, facilities and all that. Emotionally, it's a roller coaster, because you're going in there and essentially jumping into the vortex, and you're hoping, ideally you have at least 2 or 3 places you can go. guaranteed. Majority of these guys are going in there to get their back rubbed and get cupcakes. Oh, we think you're getting recruited. It doesn't work out that way. You get the initial text, then they ghost you. And then you never know. Then as a coach, you're like, okay, well, if you don't want to be here, then that's on you. But then you need some players because your job depends on putting out a viable team. And so you probably see a little bit more of this kind of jumping in quick from the teams that are struggling to win. But then also you're like, okay, well, you see why, because you got a lot of guys that don't invest. And so, but then you got coaches that are highly compensated. So you're like, look, you know what, you're getting paid to deal with it. So it's a constant, infinity of anxiety, stress, drama. Because, when the kids do this, or when they think about going in the portal, or they don't get as many reps. Oh, we're going in the portal. Or if you don't give me this, I'm going in the portal. They're not just saying that to coaches. So then therefore, when you talk about in the locker room and taking away, it's like a little piranha taking just little bites out of the meat that you need to go out there and compete against a team. I guess in our case, or a couple weeks against Iowa against Nebraska, that, at least we haven't beat Wisconsin in 10 years. 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, that's a long, man.
Well, 10 games. It's been since 2012.
Yeah, 10 games. That's a long time.
Too long. One last point on this, especially as it relates to Bryce Underwood. I finally found the tweet I was looking for. Clint Brewster, who writes for 24/7 Sports and CBS Sports, says Bryce Underwood is taking up about the same percentage of salary cap or NIL that Patrick Mahomes is taking from the Chiefs, 17%. Be interesting to see what type of money is left over to surround him with talent. Bud Elliott, who also writes for 24/7 Sports and CBS Sports, says, okay, but consider this. Using these numbers, Underwood takes up 8% of Michigan's player and coach spending. So 17% of players, but 8% of players and coaches. Mahomes is just 16% of the players, not in the coaches. So Bud Elliott's take is college teams are egregiously overspending on coaches compared to players in relation to what all the pro leagues do. You agree, disagree?
Yes, but the what they have to do is a ton more. You got a coach now.
Recruit, massage,
re-recruit, continually recruit, coach, hire,
shake hands, kiss
babies. The NFL. Here's the I guess the complete difference. Like, you have to go to that building over there. If I'm the head coach of Nebraska, and massage egos and create relationships with, just say, 200 donors, right? Then if I'm the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, I just got to go over there because the salary cap is already coming, or the money for the salary cap already come from the TV deals and all that.
Right.
So it's already set. That's as much, I don't want to say it's easier, but a different set of circumstances.
Just talk to Clark Hunt.
Right. And so, it's already coming. It's coming from the league. And so it's a little bit different. And, but I also think he didn't take into account that it's only $1 million. So Michigan,
he was taking the total over the 4 years.
Yeah, which he didn't take in, inflation. And if they win and even get it, you got to expect within those 3 years or 4 years, Michigan will get in the college football playoffs. So just say they make it to the second round, and that bowl money from winning their first, it pays for itself. Right. And so that's what they're projecting. That's what they're expecting. A lot of pressure, but then with a lot of pressure, you get a big old paycheck with it.
We'll keep talking some quarterbacks when we get back. Daniel Jones cut by the Giants. That's how we'll wrap up On the Block.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your Thanksgiving feast. Pre-order a 12-pound whole smoked turkey or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A 4-pound boneless ham is $50. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Fresh breakfast items or desserts made daily. Cream puffs, cinnamon rolls, carrot cake, sweet potato, pecan cookies, brownies, blondies. Do I need to keep going? What about bread pudding with homemade bourbon caramel sauce? Stop by the Rabbit Hole Bakery at 8th and Q in the Haymarket today to satisfy your cravings. And if you're looking for larger group orders, they do that too. Order ahead on their website at therabbitholebakery.com today. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
At Koppel Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Koppel, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Koppel Chevrolet GMC.
The Body Lab, located at 14th and Yankee Hill, is Lincoln's premier physical therapy and recovery lab. The Body Lab offers trigger point dry needling, cupping therapy, joint manipulation, and so much more. Looking to relax and relieve stress after a long day or difficult workout? The Body Lab's recovery lab is the ideal spot. Featuring infrared sauna, a cold plunge tub, or if you're just looking for enough space to stretch out and reset your mind. Learn more about memberships and schedule your service today at thebodylablnk.com or visit the Body Lab in person at 14th and Yankee Hill Road.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall, Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 26th is $3 off on bacon, 25% off hanger steaks, 20% off all summer sausage, and 20% off all cheeses. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Make the short drive to Pleasantdale and enjoy a great meal at the P-Dale Pub. From prime rib, patty melts, ribeyes, drink specials, and so much more, the P-Dale Pub provides a small-town feel with exceptional service and delicious food. Visit the P-Dale Pub in Pleasantdale today and watch their Facebook page each week to find out their dinner specials.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to attend our upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. It's the best time to buy parts and schedule inspections all year. Take advantage of specials through December 13th with additional savings the day of your local expo. Find savings on oil and filters, gifts for under the tree, and pre-ordered John Deere parts. Visit with our trained and certified technicians and sign up for our winter service specials. Visit landmarkimp.com for a complete schedule and experience the Landmark difference.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tell my agent, cut me right now at the Daniel Jones story.
Man.
Gets a new contract, $40 million
a year
for this production. Well, it's just the 1 year extension, wasn't it? No, two. You know, the full extension. That's right.
He did, didn't he? Didn't he? He played 4 years.
Yeah, and then they got the extension after the.
Then he got
fifth.
you're right.
Yeah,
because then he went franchise 1 year, right?
Franchise,
and then
extension.
He got the 100 and something million. And you know what?
Good for him.
Good for him to go in there and tell him to cut him. Because I'm going to tell you this about Daniel Jones. Now, you can say whatever you want. Has he been the best? No. But I will tell you what, for a guy, I didn't really think you should have been drafting him that high when he came out of Duke. No offense, Austin.
No,
but he's a phenomenal athlete. But I'm going to tell you what.
He's not Herbert.
No, he's better. Come on.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but he's
NFL version of Heinrich Herbert.
Yes, he is. But
evolutionary.
He can actually play the quarterback position.
It's that Duke education.
Yeah, smart. But I also say this. From the time that he was drafted, maybe up until they made the playoff run, and I think they exceeded the expectations then. The Giants never did right by him anyways, as far as drafting receivers, keeping good talent around him. Remember that year the offensive line was the worst, second worst in history besides the one that was down in Houston with David Carr. I saw that up close and personal. And then he played excellent, along, with his athletic ability, paired with Saquon, and they go to the playoffs. And not only did they go to the playoffs, they go to Minnesota and beat them on the road pretty decisively.
Mm-hmm.
And they had
that Minnesota team was weird though, because they didn't have a good point differential. Right. They won a lot of games. You kind of tell they were wobbly, but Daniel Jones and the Giants did beat them.
It was a year that they won every single close game, and that's fine. But they still went on the road in a hard environment and won. And he played pretty good the next week too. And at times he plays really, really well. And then you make so much money. Then they're like, oh. We signed you, and then, you got hurt last year. You had the emergence of DeVito. But I think the worst part is this: they signed you to a deal, and I think the reason why they decided to cut him, or a big part of it is because the GM made a mistake with Saquon. I'm telling you, and it's all they're doing is trying to CYA cover your, is because if you go back to Hard Knocks, he says, okay, we've invested in our offensive line, which you really didn't. And we paid a quarterback $40 million a year. Why would we pay a running back 12? And so they said, listen, we're going all in with Daniel Jones. Who was their number one receiver? Okay, you got Neighbors, right? He's a rookie.
But you just drafted him.
You just drafted him.
Wandale's been
hurt, and unfortunately.
That guy from Tennessee. Hyatt, right?
Yep, Hyatt. And then the tight end retired out of nowhere.
Ingram.
No, not Ingram. The one that was married to
Waller. Darren
Waller.
Yeah,
and he was going to be his safety net.
Yeah.
And so, Saquon goes and he has been balling, and then all of a sudden now you were like, okay, well, we're going to worry about your injury. It came down to this, and they did this. Saints did this with Derek Carr, and you'll see this every single time. You sign these huge contracts, and then you have a guaranteed for injury. So then they're like, all right, we'll bench you, right? What they try to do with what they did with Russell Wilson, we'll bench you so you don't get hurt. So because if you get hurt, we got to guarantee your next year. When really, what could Daniel Jones have done this year without an ultimate weapon in the backfield and a guy that dictates the coverage? What could he realistically done this year to even warrant them to keep him? They never wanted to keep him in the first place. So if you're really gonna, if it came down to it, and you never really wanted to keep Saquon, because if you really wanted to keep Saquon, you would have signed him to a year or contract instead of franchising him. And he came in and took less just to get into camp. So he was a good soldier. So you guys don't even know who the heck you want to keep. You got rid of your two best offensive players, besides Neighbors is obviously, but 2 or 3
coming
best,
into the year,
coming into the year, 2 your best players. Now you don't got a quarterback. Now you've shown you don't have anybody around to develop. What are you going to get another rookie and throw a rookie to second-year receiver?
Defense is meh.
Right. Well, we'll get now. We can just talk about the whole deal. Where your head coach and one of the best defensive coordinators somehow clash. He leaves, takes a college coaching job, and shoots you the bird and tells you to go to you know what as he's leaving the building with a defense that you guys drafted, he created, he developed. Which they do have some pretty good players. They actually have good players on their defense, but they're not able to.
Talent's good, but the results aren't there.
But they aren't able to because they can't score. So now we're back there. And so I think it's the Saquon effect. And I think that and this is what happens, GMs will make moves like this to keep their job and stay there another year or two. So he's been sacrificed. But the only good thing they did is that Mr. Mayer went in and let him release him. And by their statement, when they said, he's done a really good job dealing with the circumstances, they got egg on their face, and it's the owner is really telling the GM, I'm doing this, I'm going above you, and you mess this dude's career up.
The other interesting part about this to me is Drew Lock. He's the backup, but they're elevating Tommy DeVito over Drew Lock, so they don't have to pay Drew Lock his snaps bonus.
Right, snaps. I mean, it's Bush League one. First of all, I would say
out of a classy organization like the Giants.
I was about to say the Giants organization is first class all the way. I was only there for like 3/4 of the season, and then through the playoffs. I'm going to tell you what, man, they are first class. The ownership is first class. It's pretty much like everything. They're operating like the Pittsburgh Pirates or somebody like that.
Not the Steelers, the Pirates.
Yeah, the Pirates. They are. So I'm sure Mr. Mayer is definitely not sleeping well. The way they're doing stuff like that, because the Giants are they're doing it the business wise. Like they look at it like, if we're doing this to Drew Lock, what are the other players in the locker room thinking and thinking? You know, how are we going to be? He's thinking, how are we going to be attractive to other free agents? And Drew Lock said, look, I was the number 2. I don't know why I'm not playing. That's some stuff the Patriots used to do. Do you ever hear the stories back in the day where they say this dude, what the receivers would be starting all year and they need 4 catches to get their like $100,000 bonus? Belichick was like, oh, you're inactive.
Yeah.
That's why when you saw Brady, when he was at Tampa, he was calling plays and checking off plays to get it. Remember, he got Antonio Brown, $2 million,
get
Gronk. He made sure everybody got their bonuses because of the PTSD from New England. And now here you got the Giants, the blue blood organizations operating like a bunch of chumps.
It's unfortunate to see. We'll see where Daniel Jones ends up. I think he can stick as a backup somewhere.
I'm telling you, if he gets somewhere,
revenge tour,
reinvent himself. If he could get possibly, they got Blaine Gabbert, but Carson Wentz. But if he could get to Kansas City or somewhere, telling you, that's all
Buffalo,
you need.
Behind Josh Allen?
Oh, yeah. I take Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
My man, hey, listen, Forrest Gump can run.
Hey.
He's the second fastest white dude I've ever seen in my life.
Behind Dallas Clark?
Behind Dallas Clark.
There it is. That's Jay Foreman filling in for Strick, second hour of On the Block. Thanks to Nebco for their sponsorship of the show. Don't go anywhere. Plenty of Nebraska, Wisconsin, plenty of college football weekend preview. Coming up next, it'll be old school. Jay Foreman, Derek Pearson. I'm headed up to Omaha. Talk to you in a little bit from CHI Health Center, Nebraska men against Creighton. It'll be fun. Stick with us here on The Ticket.
Have you been told by your physician that your testosterone level is fine, but you don't feel fine? Get a second opinion. If your testosterone level is 200, 350, even 500, and you still have symptoms, come to Limitless Male. We treat the person and the symptoms, not the number. Our mission is for you to feel optimal again. So if you're tired all the time, no energy, brain fog, muscle loss, nothing left in the tank, get your free consult at limitlessmale.com.